Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and of course, today is a Saturday, as a Friday. We are blessed again to come with another show, and we're just going to have a conversation on the topic of the comments of the Secretary General of ODM Party, Edwin Sifuna, who is also the Senator of Nairobi City County. Yeah, I'm joined in studio by my brother Barak. Barak, you can say hi to our viewers before we proceed.
Greetings and good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining Brother Benson Media. And we're looking forward to having an exciting show. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Barak, for finding time this evening to join us. And to our viewers, I can see Mdumez is already in. Thank you so much, Mdumez, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. Yeah, so Mr. Barak, I just wanted us to have a look at what happened over the week and the comments of one Edwin Sifuna. Edwin Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM, and of late we haven't seen him, associating himself with close allies of Raila Amolo Odinga. And again, we've seen some comments from close allies of Raila Amolo Odinga, speaking and saying that Edwin Sifuna does not really speak on behalf of ODM. But again, some are saying that he is the Secretary General, he speaks on behalf of the ODM. At one point, he was threatened that he'll be uh, he'll be sent home. That there's a probability of him being thrown away from that seat. And so we've had so many comments coming from different, members of ODM, some of those who supports the broad-based government, but Edwin, of course, have shown that he doesn't support this broad-based, and according to him, he's saying that the relationship that the ODM party has with the government, they did not sign anywhere that they would support several things, according to his comments. And I just wanted to play this clip where he was being interviewed in one of the stations, and this is what he had to say.
Values, the things that we believe in. The law is the law. When you have three lawyers here and two of them are acting oblivious to the law, there is something wrong. If you read section 14 of the Political Parties Act, it says a person shall not be a member of more than one political party. And a person, while being a member of a political party, a person who, while being a member of a political party, in any way or manner, publicly advocates for formation of another political party or promotes the ideology, interests, or policies of another political party shall, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 1 or any other written law, be deemed to have resigned from the previous political party. The moment you are a member of ODM and you say you will vote for a candidate other than a candidate promoted by your own party, you are advancing the interests of that political party, which is why I'm saying, by dint of the law as it is today, Aladwa and his colleague here are deemed to have resigned from ODM. They are now, for all intents and purposes, members of UDA. Now, this particular party, just a minute, let me read the law. This particular law anticipated what Ogenda is trying to tell us here. There is a condition under which you are allowed to do these things, even when you don't belong to that political party. It says here at the proviso that these provisions shall not apply in a condition or a situation where you are in a coalition agreement or in a coalition pact. You understand, Trevor? That is the law that these guys want to run away from. Now, secondly, political parties are not formed to win court cases. Political parties are formed to win power. So if you are a political entity and you count your victories as the number of times you have argued before the Supreme Court, you are an NGO, you're not a political party. I am preparing ODM for 4 by-elections, and I have run a total number of 1 general election and at least 10 by-elections. Trevor, you were there with me. In all of those areas, from Kwale to Matungu, all of those places, there is no presence of third way alliance. So when he talks to us about victories in court, fold your party and form an NGO, Ekuru court, that's not why political parties exist. So for us as ODM, we will count our victories not in the courts. If Ekuru court, you ran alone, I am telling you, you would not meet the threshold to be elected as president because your votes are known. They are 18,000. You understand? So please don't come here and tell us about ODM and being selfish.
Let him finish.
And so on and so forth. So I want to be very clear, Trevor, that for me, these things they say that I am stuck in old positions, that I am too independent. It's called values. And if you don't stand by your values when they are being tested, they are hobbies. You would rather stop calling yourself somebody who believes in values. And this party that is called ODM, until and unless you have complied with the law on how you can interact with other political parties, I hold the position that we are in a very good place as ODM to form government in 2027. There is nothing that stops us. We have alliances with people who are like-minded, people who believe in the things that we believe in. We can walk the journey with those same people and win the election. Okay. So these people who are selling off the opportunity for ODM to form government, you have to ask what is their motivation.
Okay, there are also people believe in you. In fact, there's a rumor ongoing that the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, his DAP Kenya counterpart Eugene Wamalwa, and also the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua held political discussions, and they're thinking of forming a political coalition. Yeah. In fact, the next step is they're coming to speak to your party leader. Are those like-minded individuals who you will form a coalition with going forward?
Let me reiterate the thing that I said here about the constitution of ODM. It is the party leader who will give us that direction. It is in the constitution, it says it is him to lead those discussions. Okay. So he will make a decision whether he wants to sit with his colleague, what is his name, the Wiper boss, Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, all of those people were in Azimio. They are still in Azimio with us. Rigathi Gachagua is not eligible to run for elections. He's not eligible to run because he's an impeached deputy president. So let them have whatever discussions they want. But I can assure you that whatever decision is made, it has to be for the interest of the people, to save this country from this regime.
Yeah, but the party leader will give that.
That is his job. That is his job under the constitution. The rest of us are just
Yes, Mr. Barak, I think you've seen that. That is one eloquent, Kenyans call him an eloquent senator of Nairobi. And if you see him talk, and even the energy that he talks with tells you that is, they say, principled, or he believes on what he's saying. And more of what he speaks about, there is a good number of ODM members who are not really resonating or accepting that. And so this has brought so many questions in the Republic of Kenya. And again, if more of what he said, that even if Raila Amolo Odinga decides, or they decide as ODM to support or to unite and work together in 2027, according to him, he's saying that even with the support of Raila, Ruto is still going to lose in 2027. And he was asked why, and he said very clearly that because Ruto has messed and he has gone against what the ODM party, for example, believes in or stands for. What is your take on the comments and the stance of one Edwin Sifuna, the Secretary General of ODM? And just that, and then I'll come with another question.
Well, very interesting. Edwin Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM, And an SG is a very senior position in any political party because they are the mouthpiece of the party or any other organization. For example, if I ask you who is the chairperson of COTU, I know 90% of Kenyans do not know who is the chairperson of COTU, but they know the SG, who is Papa Francis Atwoli. And even many political parties, that even right now, if I ask you who is the chairperson of Jubilee Party, people will not know, but they know Jeremiah Kioni, who is always endorsing Matiang'i every day in the press. So you find that an ISG is a very serious, so it's a very senior position in any organization, political parties included. So when Sifuna is talking, he's not just talking as Sifuna, he's talking as the mouthpiece of ODM. Yeah. The only problem that Sifuna has, according to my observation, is that Sifuna has not read the mood of the supporters of ODM. Because, when you are the SG, you are a representative of the members of that organization. Because he has come out as a hardliner, he's telling people what people want to hear. He has his constituency. I believe that ever since he went to the church to worship with Kalonzo and Waititu, and I think even Mamalo was there, he has been speaking a language that the supporters want to hear. And in politics, you must understand who is your constituency. Yeah, you might be pleasing a different constituency that is not yours, forgetting that in politics, numbers counts. Yeah, and when the day will come when you need numbers, and maybe you are pleasing the wrong constituency, it becomes a problem for you, because we are seeing an ODM that is divided along those who are pro-government and those who want to seize the opportunity to work with government, and a few individuals who are against that because they believe that maybe the government is not doing what they want to do, what they believe in. And the question comes in, Sifuna is saying that the party leader will give us direction. But the party leader has already given direction by allowing his deputies and his chairman and his minority leader to join the government. In politics, perception is everything. Yeah. Because you cannot allow your two deputies, who are the senior most leaders in your party after you, and your chairman, yeah, and your minority leader to join the government, and then you are saying that the party leader has not given direction, unless you just want to chart your own way out of the party, which is a democratic right that every individual has. Yeah? So when you saw Sifuna distancing himself from the AU thing, because he was the only senior leader in ODM who was not in Addis Ababa, and he was not very much involved in that AU issue. And you saw that even the chairperson, the deputy party leaders, all of them went to Addis Ababa. So it shows you that maybe he's trying to pursue a narrative or an agenda that he himself knows, because we know that sometimes when leaders want to make some decisions, they just try to hold to a position, and they don't just go with the masses according to what the masses want. So you find that everybody has a democratic right. That is okay. But when you are holding a position within an organization, you should not hold that position to derail the objective of that specific organization. Because if majority of the ODM people want to work with the government, then let them work with the government. Because democracy is about the majority. It's not about an individual who is so adamant that cannot happen. Yeah. And if the ODM has a consensus that they want to work with UDA, then as the AG, if he's not in agreement, he should just resign from the ODM party and say that in principle, that's how principled leaders do. In principle, I don't agree with your position to work with the government. So allow me to withdraw my membership from ODM and join another political party where his interest will be served. And if majority of the ODM members feel that they don't want to work with the government, then it is well. Let them chart their own way. But majority members cannot be in ODM and even the chairperson is supporting the government, and the SG is saying it cannot happen. And it goes further to say that even if his party leader decide to side with the government, he himself will not. It means that he wants to get out of that party. And let me tell you, in Kenya, if you look at how political parties operate in Kenya, you will find that political parties in Kenya are not actually political parties. They are just special purpose vehicles to acquire or to maintain power, even to political trade. Yeah. Just look at how political parties are constituted. Look at how they operate. They don't have ideologies. Yeah. Even Sifuna say that what does ODM believe in? Who do they stand for as a party? These are just special purpose vehicles. That's why you see today we are in TNA, tomorrow we are in Jubilee, we are in UDA, and life continues. Yeah, because these political parties are formed to do what we call trade in politics. They are just currency to trade in politics. Look at Ford Kenya. Yeah, look at ANC. ANC was just folded the other day. Right now, Mudavadi has he doesn't have a place to call home. Look at Wiper. Look at the Badono Maendeleo Chapchap. So these are people form political parties in Kenya to transact political in the market of politics. They trade with their political parties. So therefore, that's why you will be reminded that hii chama iko na wenyewe, because wenyewe wakiamua kufanya vile wanataka, you'll be crushed and they'll get rid of you. Yeah. So if you want to survive in Kenyan politics, you must understand how political parties behave and how they transact their trade in terms of in the market of politics. Therefore, I know that majority of the people, the netizens, they really excited with what Sifuna is saying, and because that is what Sifuna is saying, what they want to hear. But in reality, how politics work in Kenya, you might not survive it, because vyama vya Kenya viko na wenyewe wakiamua kufanya vile wanataka, there is nothing you will do about it as an official. You just either you sing the song or you ship out and you forget about politics. Back to you.
Okay, fine. So from where you sit, Mr. Barak, and the stance of ODM, you've seen members of ODM speak. Some of them are MPs, some of them the chairperson, who is also the governor of Homa Bay. When she speaks, she speaks different. When the acting party leader speaks, he speaks different. When the deputy party leader speak, they're sending different signals to the people of Kenya. And, this is a party that most people, especially those who have an opinion different from the government, they've always, found so many supporters. And my question to you is, do you think this is maybe, this shows that ODM is coming to an end, or the divisions that we are seeing and the different stance that we are seeing among the leaders, does it show that these leaders are moving or are leaving, finding their way out? And if so, and if not, that is, how is this going to be solved to ensure that they keep, speaking in one language? And then something else, do you think they're going to, present someone to go for the presidency, or they're going to work with another party from the signals that you're seeing? Because, Sifuna is speaking of the like-minded, but if he's given the option of the Kenya Kwanza, the UDA, then he has the guts of coming out to clearly clarify that Ruto cannot win even with their support and with the support of Baba. So does it mean that they are going the other side, support the Azimio side? And suppose they're going to maybe field someone for presidency, are you seeing a possibility of someone coming from ODM to go for presidency, if not Raila? And do you think Raila can still come back and go for this post? And maybe if, suppose they're going to, my last, just the last question, suppose they're going to unite with another party, the like-minded, according to Sifuna, are they going to fight to, let Raila go for the seat as the president, or is going to be just seated somewhere giving instructions, so he'll go as a deputy or a prime minister, the way they're telling us? What do you see, Mr. Barak?
Let me tell you that, personally, I don't like telling people what they want to hear, but I like telling them the reality. Because what you want to hear might sound so romantic, but I'm just giving you false hope. Let me ask you, you are a human being and you deal with the reality. If Ruto is in government, he's the lead, this is the head of state and head of government, and the other guys are organizing themselves to take over the instruments of power, and you have an opportunity to join forces so that you can win and remain in government, who will you consider? Is it someone who already has one leg in government, or someone who is trying to push his two legs in government? Logically, the incumbent, he has that advantage of being the incumbent. Yeah. Sifuna said that political parties are formed so that they can win power, or they can capture power. Very true. And you do not win power by fronting a presidential candidate only. Yeah. Remember, in 2007, right? In 2007, let me just start in 2002, where we had several parties coming together with what we call the NAC alliance. DP fronted the presidential candidate, who was Mwai Kibaki. Ford Kenya fronted a vice president, who was Kijana Wamalwa, and LDP fronted the shadow prime minister, who in the name of Raila Odinga, and SDP, then led by Charity Ngilu, they also fronted this. So you find that these different political parties fronted one of their own, but at the end of the day, they captured power. Yeah. And now look at 2007. PNU fronted Mwai Kibaki as a presidential candidate. Kalonzo Musyoka vied as a presidential candidate, but he lost. He became third. And ODM, who had their own presidential candidate in the name of Raila Odinga. So after what happened, PNU, they had the presidency. ODM Kenya, that was led by Kalonzo, they had the vice presidency. Now, Raila Odinga had to fight, ODM had to fight from outside so that they can also be part of the cake. And they managed to secure under the national accord, and they were given half of the government. So in 2013, Uhuru Kenyatta TNA fronted the presidential candidate, and William Ruto, being a smart politician, he said, we can join forces and I get the deputy presidency, and URP will become part of the government. And that's what happened. Yeah. So look at now in the 2022 election. Ford Kenya, ANC, CCM, PA, Yakingi, and others that I don't know if Muturi was DP, I don't know, whatever. All these people, they amalgamated their political parties together, and they ended up capturing power with all these small parties being beneficiaries of the UDA big brother. Yeah, calling themselves now Kenya Kwanza Alliance. So you don't have to front a presidential candidate for you to capture power. There are so many ways of capturing power. So people should not be obsessed by fronting a presidential candidate. And this is the challenge that ODM has been having, because you are fronting a presidential candidate and you already you are sure that we cannot win the presidency because of the structural injustice and voting pattern in this country that are ethnic based, and elections are like ethnic census. Yeah. So once you understand the weakness, where the weaknesses are, you have to change. You should not just be having plan A, every election plan A, every election plan A. If plan A fails, you don't even have a plan B. You must be strategic. Yeah. That is why you see Ruto positioned himself strategically in 2013 with his URP. And when URP and TNA joined together and they formed the Jubilee Party, and he positioned himself as the next president. And he worked so hard to ensure that he sustained that dream. Yeah. So, can ODM field a presidential candidate? Sorry. It is within their democratic right to do so. But will it yield any fruit? I can assure you it will not. Can ODM join forces with Wiper and the rest? ODM has been voting with Wiper in the same basket, 2013, 2017, 2022. They've never won the presidency. So what will be different this time round? Yeah? I hear people saying that Kalonzo has been supporting Raila since 2013. Yes, he has been supporting Raila, but Raila has never won. They've been losing to the other side 3 times. Yeah. So is it time to change tact? I believe so. If ODM want to remain relevant, it is not a matter of life and death that you must field a presidential candidate in any election. You just have to be strategic. You can form alliance with the so-called like-minded. When you say like-minded to who? To Sifuna or to the party leader? Because like-minded, someone may be like-minded to the party leader, but to me is not like-minded. So who determines this like-minded people? It is the party leader, because the political parties belong to them. Yeah. So they will come and tell you, I think this so-and-so is like-minded. So we work with the so-and-so. So if you're not willing to work with so-and-so, get out of my party. And you'll be kicked out. So ODM have already shown some kind of romantic relationship with UDA in terms of politics. So they can decide to work with UDA and have what we call a pre-election arrangement or a coalition agreement before a pre-election coalition, so that they can vote on this in the same basket. But if they divorce from that kind of arrangement and they decide to join hands with this other side, where Kalonzo, Wamalwa, and Arono Gachagua are, then the question will come: who is going to the presidential candidate? Because Raila has been supported by Kalonzo 3 times. Is he going to let Kalonzo now run? And does Kalonzo has the capacity to run a presidential candidate in this country and persuade all the corners of this country to support him? Does he has the capacity to run against Ruto, who single-handedly defeated Azimio plus the incumbent, the president who was going home? Yeah. So those are the questions. It is good to be reality, to be real, and then you make the right decision that can salvage even your political life. Because in 2027, we are going to the polls to elect either to affirm Ruto as the president for the last term, or to replace him with a different candidate. Are you seeing any formation that looks promising that can threaten the incumbent? Because once you are running against the incumbent has one foot in government. They're just looking to retain the other foot so that they can continue. Have you seen any formation with the capacity to run a campaign that can remove the president from power? Those are the issues that people should be discussing, not being led by emotions and insults and saying that must go. My friend, you will be seeing another must go for another 5 years until 2032. Because if you fail to plan yourself, it's like you already plan to fail. And that is what our political leaders are doing. And right now you see everybody saying, Raila, come this side and help us. Raila, come this side and help us. Raila, come this side and help us. I can assure you, it is not going to be a walk in the park. And ODM might be the determining factor of who is going to be the president in 2027. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. I mean, of course, yeah, we've seen that because from what we are seeing currently, the side of, do you say the side of Azimio led by Kalonzo Musyoka, they've teamed up with Wamalwa, they've also teamed up with Jubilee, they've also teamed up with Team Gachagua or Team Wamunyoro, and they're speaking, it seems they're speaking one language. And then this other side, the UDA is currently standing alone. The ODM is still undecided. They do not know whether to, support the side of the UDA or to support, the side of the opposition. So I fully agree with you that whichever side that they pick would get some advantage. But again, you remember the side of the president is also a little bit tricky because this, if you read the mood, of course, the mood on the ground, the citizens are not really happy with how the government has run. And so from where I also said, if the ODM or maybe Raila-led team, if they decide to team up with the opposition and go as opposition, maybe feeling someone who is serious for that position, then there's a possibility that they might see it. But again, if Raila decides to go to the side of Ruto, it might also, make their mathematics a little bit tough. So I agree with that comment of yours. So something else that I wanted you to give just your opinion is the people of Kenya are still criticizing the government and is being criticized in both social media platforms and any other platform that the people gets opportunity to just hear their views. And if you remember, not some weeks ago, the president was in the northern eastern, and he talked about a road that, according to him, he wanted to ensure that he works on as a government. And the people of Kenya really criticized and made fun of it, and it is still actually trending. Barabara itoke wapi na iende wapi na ipite wapi. The president is not really finding that well. According to him, he's saying that the level of jokes among the people of Kenya is too high. Just today, the bishop of Archbishop Bishop Muheria also told the government that they should stop doing more of advertisement. They should actually get to work and perform. They should do what they promised the people of Kenya, and that they should not, in any platform or in any occasion, they should stop doing the advertisement bit, but instead, just perform or do the works on the ground. And again, the president had this and he gave his opinion. He's still not happy with, the bishop. And so my question to you is are you seeing a possibility of the people of Kenya or the youths who, keeps on doing or making fun or trying to just speak about the comments of the president going to stop? And if he doesn't stop, the president has already shown that he's not interested. Is he going to, what is the next step that maybe is going to take? And is it really going to be helpful? Because we've seen instances where, when he speaks about something that the people are doing, especially the youths do it more. It's like you've hungered them, and when you hunger them, they just wake up to overdo it. What is your take on this? And according to you, are these really criticism? And if they are they really going to stop any soon? Because from where I see it, I'm seeing it continuing. The other day it was, the pictures. The other day it was, it was being tagged some other sites. And by the way, part of these comments are some of the reasons that made the Republic to lose the AUC seat, if you can remember, because there are some people who are also just within, and they would, write mails and tag the heads of states, and I think that might also have, caused the Republic of Kenya. What is your take on this stance or these behaviors? Can you hear me? You are muted.
Sorry,
Okay.
I just wanted to start with the last comment that you made that I don't know, people are writing mails where to tagging other heads of state. Let me tell you, people don't understand the dynamics of international relations. That even if you tag wherever, it does not have any impact. Issues that shape voting, that influence voting at the AU are totally different. And they are what we call national interest. National interest is like you as a person now. Anytime you do anything, you look at your own interest. Yeah. Even when people go to vote here in Kenya, they look at their personal interest, starting with their ethnicity. They vote for the tribes that they the one of their own, or someone who is so friendly to their community, because they have something in common. So it has nothing to do with, I don't know, some fools wrote something to, I don't know, they tagged whoever. No, those who are people who are exercising their ignorance. So things that shaped AU elections are well known to experts who are understand diplomacy, who understand international relations. They know very well that, and in fact, apart from the wife of the former South African president who held that seat, there's none from Anglophone who has ever held that seat, and they know the reasons why. So people should not simplify that issue of AU to make it now a issue of bloggers, I don't know, tagging the presidents and so forth. So another issue that you talked about is the people who are mocking the president. To me, I think making fun of his speeches or his promises, to me, I think it is not against the law. I don't know someone can be abducted for imitating what the president said. The other time people made a portrait of him in a coffin. I think that was a bit overboard. But just making fun, even more. I don't know if you remember or you've read about Ridiculous. Ridiculous was making fun of Moi, and they were making people so happy and laugh about the Nyayoism. And I think they really diluted that fear that people had about the presidency, and I don't know, people who are powerful in the government. I don't know, those days we had J.J. Kamodo, George Saitoti, and so forth. And people, Ridiculous, the likes of Walter Mungare Nyambane, John Kiare, who is now a member of Parliament of Dagoretti South, and Tony Njuguna, they used to mock these people and just making fun of it. And to me, I think it's a good thing, because they are also going to remind the president that what you have said, if you don't do it, yeah, we are confirming to us that you are a liar. Yeah. So he must work so hard to ensure that that road that comes from Pandera to Isiolo is finished before his term ends, and he can make that as a campaign tool for his re-election. Yeah. And I think this is even giving him more opportunity to work so hard and to prove Kenyans wrong, that he's not just speaking for the sake of it. Yeah. So sometimes you might think that something can work against someone, and in fact they can use it, and it becomes an advantage to them. So depending with how he utilizes that space, because that road will be looking keenly to see whether those contractors are on site and they are working, and everything that I think Kenyans should be very keen. And anytime we go somewhere and he makes promises, Kenya should do the same, so that all the promises he's reminded Yeah, you went here and you said this before your re-election. Have you done it? Yeah, and internet never forgets. In fact, in 2027, before election, many videos will come up, and if he said something that he has not done, I'm assuring you, is going to work against him. So he has to work hard. And to me, I don't think that is there's any problem with that. Kenya should even do more of reminding the president through this comedy they are doing, or even in a ridiculous way, however ridiculous it is. They should keep on doing that so that the government is kept on toes. Because as you know, right now, we don't have an objective opposition in place. Yeah, an opposition that is objective. Because what we have right now are people who are full of hatred, and people who are full of bitterness, and people who are full of revenge. So people are just saying anything. So we don't have an objective opposition in place that can keep the government in check. So in that vacuum, the Kenyans who are aware of what is happening should just fill that vacuum by consistently and continuously reminding the president and his government on any promise that they make to the Kenyan people. Another issue talked about Bishop Muheria. Bishop Muheria has a history of criticizing or opposing or supporting. And, he was so close to Uhuru's government. And I think our church leaders should be very keen when they are, because once they make comments and they are profiled, you are saying this because you come from this region. You are saying this because you come from this. So because if they are not consistent, what our church leaders lack is consistency. They will criticize this government depending with how they relate with the head of that government. So if you find that we have a church leader who is consistent with this criticism of the government, because church leaders, they are people's watchmen. They are like a watchdog. Yeah, they should at no time they should be in bed with the government. And the problem of the church started when they were the first people to sanitize this government and say that this was a God-chosen government. Yeah. So because of the fallout between the head of state and his former deputy president, so some churches leaders from specific regions, they took a step back, and now they started pointing fingers at the government, and they are speaking with a lot of bitterness and with a lot of anger. And that is where the integrity equation comes. Yeah, are you genuine in your criticism, or do you have a sinister motive? Yeah, but when we are seeing things are not going on right, every Kenyan, be it a church leader or not a church leader, we have the right to call out the government. Yeah, because we are all taxpayers in this country, and we have the right to be served by this government. So I think that church leaders should be consistent with their criticism, and they should not be tempted to criticize or to support based on their ethnicity, because that's where we draw the line. Yeah, we've had very serious church leaders before who are very consistent with their criticism, and they've done a lot. They did a lot, and they championed reforms in this country. Yeah, I think I've addressed all the issues that you
Okay.
you
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah. Thank you. Maybe my last question to you is, I think we've tackled what we were supposed to do to tackle. Maybe your comment on what is going on in Uganda. I don't know whether you've seen or watched news of what happened.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, I saw that Besigye was charged with treason with another guy there, and it's unfortunate that right now he's on wheelchair. Yeah, the guy who was just walking on his foot the other day, today is on wheelchair, courtesy of Museveni's regime. And it is unfortunate that this is happening. And have you had any East African member state criticizing or calling out Museveni for Museveni's regime because of that? And that's why we even sometimes ask question, what is the role of East African community? Because if we cannot call out the violation of human rights within our member states, yeah, look at what is happening in DRC, look at what Museveni is doing to his political opponent. And you know, we have elections in Tanzania coming up in October, and things are not, what's happening? And
Just
you know,
proceed.
things are not going on right within the East African community. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that this is happening in the 21st century, and people are just observing. And you know, if you're not careful, we might end up even losing Besigye because he's not looking good at all. And it is just he's being persecuted by the state, and the world is just watching. Yeah, and when he'll pass away, God forbid, it's when now people will start saying, "Oh, this was wrong." Yeah, instead of intervening right now when he's still alive, so that Museveni is called out because of atrocities. They want to kill Besigye, and it's not right. Yeah, and I'm waiting to hear. President Ruto is the chairperson of East African Community right now. He has not talked about that. Is he in support? Because even Besigye was arrested here in Kenya, and and he was drove all the way to Kampala by road. Yeah, does it mean that we support such kind of acts against our political opponents? And what kind of democracy is there in Uganda if this is how they are treating political leaders? Yeah, and you as a civilian, is it okay to be taken to a military court, to a court martial? Where does that happen in this world?
So I
Especially
can't address this guy. I can't address this guy.
Yeah.
Are you guys trying to tell me that I can't speak here? I'm here. This guy kept talking. I know it's my brother. I have no issues with this guy. Mimi nauliza aje? Juu mimi siongea kizungu mingi sana. Mimi si Sudi. Najua
Mr. Blue, can you hear me? I was actually letting Barack finish, and then I engage you fully because he's leaving.
Okay. I don't have any problem. No.
Yeah. So I was, Mr. Barack, you can just finish, and then I let Mr. Blue give his opinion. Mr. Barack, you can finish your comment, and then I'll give Mr. 1dem99 time to also clarify, to give us his opinion as well. Just because we were
I'm done. I am done with my comment. I think we are from my side. I'm done, and I just want to thank members who are joined, and those who are going to watch later. Continue liking and subscribing and commenting, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Asiende. Niko na swali kwa huyu jamaa. Ndugu yangu huko kutoka Kenya huko. Hata mimi ni Mkenya. Kama yeye. Nimuulize swali.
Yeah, you are loud. Lakini hauko clear. I don't know why. Your internet is not, I don't know whether it's your internet or what.
Sasa unanisikia poa? Unanisikia?
Maybe you can proceed, but it's not as clear as the way you've been joining.
Before. Okay.
Yeah.
Acha niangalia kama Mr. Edwin, huyu jamaa Edwin. Anaitwa Mr.
Is Mr. Barak.
Okay, Mr. Barak. Unasikia saizi unasikia vizuri?
Yeah, just proceed. You can hear you, lakini you're not very clear. Just proceed.
Okay, huku niko na internet inafanya kazi huko, internet ya Google. Mimi sidhani shida ni upande yangu. Sidhani ni upande yangu. Labda ni upande yako.
Yeah, just give us your comment. Okay. We can hear you.
Okay. My reaction is this. Na niko na swali na Mr. Barak. Nataka kuuliza Mr. Barak aje. Sasa in his own opinion ya Mr. Barak, wewe Mr. Barak, wewe si mtoto mdogo, umeishi Kenya miaka mingi sana, umeishi Kenya miaka. Where do you think Kenya is going from here? Penye tuko saizi, Mr. Barak, wewe unaona Kenya inaenda wapi sasa? Wewe nikuuliza aje sasa? Okay, Ruto ndio president sasa tu, sisi hatujakata. By the way, hakuna mtu akona shida na Ruto, wacha malize hiyo miaka yake 5, afanye vile atafanya. Lakini Mr. Barak, nakuuliza, where do you see Kenya going in the next 20 years? Nataka kusikia venye Mr. Barak anafikiria. Na mimi unajua, mimi hata siangalii mambo ya kabila za Kenya, but I want to hear Mr. Barak, huyu juu ni mwanaume.
Yeah, I get your question, but would you kindly expand it? I mean, expand it and say in terms of what?
Okay, in terms of tribalism in Kenya, in terms of, because Kenya is a tribalistic country, most people in Kenya are tribalistic. Even the police, even the anybody in Kenya is tribal. Okay, so in terms of that, I'm asking Mr. Barak, where do you see Kenya in the next 20 years? Because I know who is tribal and who is not. Please answer me, Mr. Barak.
Mr. Barak, did you get the question? You get it? You got it?
I can repeat. If you didn't get it, I can repeat.
Yeah. I don't know. Thank you. Kenya, where I think you're asking Kenya, where Kenya is going in the next 20 years in terms of tribalism.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know that tribalism in Kenya is it has been a tool that has been used by politicians to manipulate the emotions of the voters, specifically during elections. And politicians have managed successfully, to use that subsequently since independence up to now. And unfortunately, we are still in that web. Because even if you listen to right now, how people are analyzing politics, even how church leaders are talking, even how people who are learned, professors are talking, they're just aligning themselves with their ethnicity. You can pinpoint a few people saying that this is not tribal, this is not tribal. But I can assure you, the foundations of this country, they were planted in tribalism. And it's going to take us some time to get rid of that. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one election. It's not going to happen in 5 years. We can, for example, look at the election of 2022. President Ruto was bragging, saying that at least we had the first election that was not, the campaign was not around tribalism. But that was not true. Because we know how people voted. And we know how people have been divided after the fallout between Ruto and Gachagua. And we know how people are retreating back to their ethnic cocoons. It means that we, as a country, we are still deep into this cancer of tribalism. So 20 years might not be many years to cure that disease. It might be eradicated, but gradually. The Gen Z revolution was coiled around being tribeless, leaderless, and everything else. But slowly, we are seeing the same people who are leading the revolution retreating, slowly deviating back to their tribal cocoons. So as a country, how do we deal with that? Yeah, because even right now, if you look at the comments of Kenyans on social media, totally tribal. Yeah, are we mature enough as a country to support a presidential candidate who is not affiliated to our tribe and who is not our tribe just because they are qualified? Because the problem is at the presidential level. That's why we have a lot of tribalism. But let me shock you, tribalism goes down even at the constituency level. Because if you go to where you come from, you'll realize that when you are voting, people start saying that these people came from the other side and they settle here. You remember Homa Bay when people are arguing that even Gladys Wanga is not from Homa Bay, she's from somewhere else. She just married. So you find that when politics come up, we balkanize our people along their tribal line. So your question that in 20 years Kenya will be where Kenya will be in terms of tribalism. Just look back in 20 years where Kenya was in terms of tribalism. And that was around 2004.
So, Mr. Barak, I'm asking you, let me ask you a question. What's the problem? I mean, if, okay, right now we have a president who's called Mr. Ruto, and you have a minister. What's the problem? Why can't we finish this thing about tribalism? What's the issue? What's the issue? To you, in your opinion, what's the problem? This is from Mr. Barak.
The process of planting tribalism did not just happen in one day. It happened in many years. So even finishing it will not happen in one day. It will happen it will take time. That's why I'm saying it will happen, but gradually. It is a process. It's not an event that just happens. That in 2027 we are getting rid of tribalism. It is not possible. It can happen gradually. It might start in 2027, 2032, and maybe by the year 2037, somehow, yeah, we maybe will have minimized the effect of it. But it cannot happen just abruptly.
Niko na swali kwa Mr. Barak. Sasa na Kiswahili niulize Mr. Barak juu Mr. Barak is a very intelligent guy. Ameishi Kenya miaka mingi. Huyu si mtu adileto. Nataka nikuuliza aje Mr. Barak. Tuongea tu kweli kabisa. Mimi nakuuliza swali. Nikuulize aje kuna tofauti gani ya Mjaluo, Msomali na nini mtu anaitwa nini Mkikuyu na huyu mtu anaitwa nini Mbaluya? What's the difference between? Shida iko wapi hapa kwa hii Kenya? Kwa nini Tanzania wanaweza ishi pamoja? Mimi sijui Uganda wanafanya nini. Naona Uganda Museveni na control. What's the problem with Kenya? Ati sisi hatuwezi. Kwa maoni yako, na kuuliza wewe kwa hii channel ya brother Benson, na kuuliza aje, kwa nini Kenya sisi, na kama unataka kuniambia ati Wakikuyu ndio shida, niambie na mimi nakwambia, juu watu wamesema hapo, wewe niambie bro, niambie shida iko wapi, niambie tu please.
Hakuna tofauti kati ya Mjaluo, Mkikuyu, Msomali, Mkalenjin, Mboroyana, Mkosta ama nini, hakuna tofauti. Lakini mahali shida iko, umepeana mfano wa Tanzania. Unajua, angalia historia nchi, vile walipata uhuru, walianza kuongozwa namna gani? Angalia historia ya Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, vile uongozi wake wa Tanzania. Na aliwaambia kwamba wewe ni Mtanzania. Kitu ya kwanza, ya? Unapoenda kwa uchaguzi, uende kwa uchaguzi kuchagua Mtanzania. Sisi kama Wakenya tulianza namna gani? Ya? Tulianza kuangaliana kama kabila. Tunasema wewe ni Mkikuyu unatuongoza, wewe ni Mjaluo unatusumbua, wewe ni Mluya unapenda ugali, wewe ni so hizo ndio vitu ambao zimetutenganisha. Na zimetutenganisha na kina nani? Na mwanasiasa ambao tulipatia uongozi. So unaona Watanzania wanaishi kwa umoja, hakuna Msukuma, hakuna Mchaga, hakuna kabila gani. Kwa sababu gani? Msingi ambao iliwekwa na mtangulizi ndio ambao umeushikilia hiyo nchi pamoja. Sisi kama Kenya, msingi ambao iliwekwa na mtangulizi na mwenye aliwafuata akasema nitafuata nyayo zile zile ambazo zilikuwa zimewekwa, ndio zimetutenganisha. Uganda, ukiangalia Museveni ana control Uganda, lakini Uganda Museveni anatoka kwa kabila ndogo sana ya Wabajangole. Kabila kubwa Uganda ni Wabaganda, lakini Wabaganda hata kwa siasa hawana mfasabu gani? Misingi ambayo ziliwekwa kule, msingi ambao umewekwa na watangulizi ndio huwa zinafanya nini? Zinaleta umoja ama zinaleta utengano. So shida yetu sisi kubwa kama wa Kenya ni zile msingi ambazo ziliwekwa na watangulizi ambao walitangulia kuongoza nchi hii, na ndio maana ndio hizo msingi zingolewe. Haitachukua siku mbili, haitachukua miaka 5, haitachukua miaka 10. Itakuwa ni safari ambao lazima tushirikiane kama Wakenya wote ili tuweze kung'oa hizo misingi ambazo ziliwekwa na watangulizi, kwa sababu ni misingi ambazo zimeshika sana, na hata watu ambao wanazaliwa baadaye, wamezaliwa baadaye, wameshikilia hizo misingi, na kuzitingisha haitakuwa kazi rahisi itachukua muda, lakini kama watu wamejitolea, wanataka kumalizana nayo, itachukua muda, lakini mwishowe wataweza kumalizana na ukabila, lakini haitakuwa safari rahisi na haitafanyika na miaka 2.
Maybe to add something on that, I think the reason why it has also gone overboard is because whenever opportunity is given, for example, let's say that the president now, Ruto, he comes from the Rift Valley or the Kalenjin. I think the problem that we've seen with our leaders is that when they get these opportunities, they tend to give more opportunities to people around them, people coming from their tribe. And so the majority of people coming from the other side, they have this mentality that, you know what, just because the president is coming from that side and is giving people of his tribe or people who are close to him, so there's this narrative that this presidency or this government is from this this region. I think that is also something that has made it quite tough or hard for us to get out of the tribalism thing.
Okay. Nimesikia sana venye huyu ndugu yangu bora ama sije Kevin na Mark michanganyikiwa na hizo, but huyu ndugu yangu ameongea hapo mbeleni, huyu ndugu yangu mkubwa amesema kitu ya maana sana. Unaona, okay, tuko divided by regions, na kuongea ukweli, hata ukiangalia sana kwa nini tuko na shida hii Kenya, unaona hii kitu ni kuangalia hapo mbele, na huyu jamaa amesema kitu ya maana sana. Nimemsikiza vizuri sana huyu bro, ameongea hapo. Hakuna mtu ako jeule mtu mwingine, hakuna mtu ako jeule mtu mwingine. Unaona sasa, unaangalia reality ya Kenya tunapigania vitu hata haziko. By the way, ukienda hapo Uganda unapata wa Kenya, ukienda hapo Tanzania unapata wa Kenya, ukienda Uganda. So mimi nataka kusikiza nani huyu bro nani aitwaje, na namchanganya hivi tu ndio nijue venye anafikiria. Okay, hakuna mtu mzuri kuliko mtu mwingine kwa maisha, hakuna mtu mzuri kuliko mtu mwingine. Sisi wote tunaishi dunia ni moja, ndio? So hakuna mtu mwingine ati akuja kuambia ati utaishi hivi, lakini Kenya tunaishi ya tribalism juu. Ukiangalia Tanzania hakuna tribalism. Uganda it's a military state. Hii Uganda hii tunaona, by the way hata hiyo kushika huyu nani rival wa Museveni Kenya, it's a crime. Yani Africa we demand peace and justice. Juu wacha nikuulize wewe, ukienda ushikwe Uganda, tutakutetea? Tusikia ati jamaa ameshikwa huko, Mimi leo nimetoka hospitali. Mimi nawaambia hivyo, nimetoka hospitali. Leo niko hospitali. Na penye nilikuwa hospitali nilikuwa naweka mashindano hivi. Ule daktari alikuwa anaweka mashindano. Hata sikumuuliza yeye alitoka wapi. Baadaye alikuwa Muhindi. Alikuwa Muhindi. Mimi nimedungwa mashindano leo mazezi hata sijui ni aje. Lakini
Pole pole.
Alikuwa Muhindi. Alafu nikamuuliza aje, hey, unajua niliambia aje? Ameniambia I was in Kenya 60 years ago. Ati alikuwa in Kenya 60 years ago. Nikamwangalia hivi nikashindwa. Huyu jamaa anataka kuniua hapa nini? You 60 years ago alikuwa na very bad. Akaniambia no. If you're from Kenya, I'll help you to the best of my limits. Nasikia? Nimetoka hospitali leo mimi naongea na nyinyi nimetoka hospitali. Anadunga mashindano mmoja wewe nini wewe? Ayambia ati nikasema kwani sisi wa Kenya hatuoni nini inaendelea kwa life ya kwani hatuoni we need to kama ni odori kama ni baadaye nilikuwa nimeona kifo hapa hivi this week nimesikia watu watatu wamekufa, mtu mwingine amekufa huko nini aitwaje minister wa Kenya amekufa.
Maybe Mr. Blue, you can tell us about news pia in eco area that we lost the former ABC chair. Maybe what's your opinion on that?
Oh, okay, that's actually that's very deep. You're deep, son. You're deep, son. By the way, that's very deep. Mambo ya Chebukati. That's very deep. Hakuna mtu usimamie uchaguzi ya Kenya anaishia vizuri. Hakuna mtu huenda vizuri. Sasa Chebukati. Baadaye unajua nimekasirika juu ya nini? Unaona Chebukati? Hiyo time ya Chebukati au support Chebukati. Mimi kwa sababu Chebukati. Alikuwa mtu mmoja.
I don't know what's wrong with your internet. Would you just log out and then you log in again? Because it's really breaking.
Let me log out and log in again.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So
let me log in again.
Okay, maybe yeah, proceed then.
Okay, so what I was saying, maybe I need to speak English so you guys can understand. Maybe ni Kizungu ishiki. Okay, I'll say this about Chebukati. Let me explain this in English so most people can understand. By the way, I speak English. I'm not a dummy. So I'm gonna explain this in English. Can you hear me, my brother? You can hear me now. You can hear me now. So maybe it's English you are not understanding. So maybe, let me say this. So what happened about Chebukati? Chebukati was just a guy who was he was there for the system. Chebukati was there for the system. So what happened about Chebukati is very sad. It's very sad. I feel sorry for him and his family, and I'm very saddened by the whole situation because Mr. Chebukati was a man who was there from 2017 all the way to 2022. So I was there in the whole situation. So I feel sorry for the brother, and I'm very saddened by this, by him passing away. So this issue about Chebukati, we have to address it in two different ways. So there's two different ways to address this issue about Chebukati. We have to address it like this. So was Chebukati on Raila's side, on Ruto's side? So we have to address this issue. But to me, personally, I look at Chebukati like a man, a great man, a gentleman, a man who was working tall and presenting himself like a big influential man. So I don't see any problem with Mr. Chebukati. I think Chebukati was a great man, in my own opinion. I don't see any issues with Mr. Chebukati. I think Mr. Chebukati was a really righteous man. In his heart, he was confident of his own issues. He was doing the right thing, and he was not about rigging the elections. But I see Mr. Chebukati as a great man, and I'm going to give Mr. Chebukati his dues and his respect wherever God sends him, whether it's hell or heaven. I'm gonna say Mr. Chebukati is a great man.
One day 99, I can see a good friend Gypsy Corner at the comment section. He's saying that you should keep using the AI because you sound, we can't get you at all.
No, I'm speaking from my heart now. Gypsy Corner, thank you very much. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. But I don't think Mr. Chebukati was a bad guy. I don't think he was a bad guy. I think he was just doing his. He was just a man, a regular man, just a regular man. Just another guy. Just another guy. You get a job, you go do the job. I think Mr. Chebukati was an innocent man. If I don't think he helped Ruto rig, and that's what people are saying. He helped Ruto rig. I don't think so. I think Mr. Chebukati, man, God loves Mr. Chebukati. Yeah, that's my opinion, and I know Raila and the old DM followers, and they're upset. They're upset about the whole situation. But I don't think Mr. Chebukati. But this, in Kenya, if you they give you this IBC thing here, is this IBC in Kenya? Even the next person who's coming, there's another person coming to be IBC in Kenya. They'll crucify you. And Kenya is a very dangerous country. It's a very, very dangerous.
One day 99. We've had your comment on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so maybe ya mwisho unaweza tuambia just your comment on what is going on at Wamunyoro, maybe before we end the show.
Oh, okay. Umefungia nani? Umefungia anaitwa watu uje umefungia huyu bro yangu umefungia.
Alikuwa mgeni na unajua huku time imeenda sasa.
Sasa wacha niwaambie basi. Mbona tusikiza Wamunyoro? Yeah. Wamunyoro.
Tell us what is going on at Wamunyoro. Gypsy Corner, you can join. The link is there. Just join. Time huku imeenda, ameretire.
Atasikiza basi. Acha niongee. Mimi najua leo ni leo, hakuna kesho. Okay, kama ndanisikiza kesho, atasikiza video. Sasa umeniuliza za Wamunyoro. Hivi ndio umeniuliza? Okay. Siniseme za Wamunyoro. Wacha niseme aje, niseme aje. Shida yenye iko hapo. Najua naona unacheka. Shida iko kwa Wamunyoro ni vita. Tuko ready. Unaona hakuna kitu mbaya venye Gachagua Gachagua alikuwa elected. We elected Gachagua. Sisi elected Gachagua. We elected him. Sisi hatuko elected Kindiki. Unasikia? So shida yetu na mimi, by the way, the main problem that we never elected Kindiki. hata tujui Kindiki ni nani. Kindiki ni lawyer. So we like Kindiki, but he's just another guy walking around. But we elected Gachagua. Gachagua Wamunyoro. Huyo Wamunyoro umeniuliza bro, nikamwambia we elected Gachagua. Sisi tunadepende Gachagua. Na tumpendi sana hivi, but we elected him. Huyo ndio tulichagua. Hata ajui kwao ni wapi, mama yake ni nani, nini, lakini tunampenda. So sisi tu elect Gachagua. Hiyo ndio vita iko hapo. Hiyo ndio vita. Na unajua ati Ruto anasema nini? Unajua nilikuwa naongea shosha yangu leo, my grandmother. Niongea kizungu kidogo, hata bila najua kizungu. Unajua watu wafikia mimi ni Sudi. Mimi si Sudi. Okay, I'm gonna address you guys in English because so far, I in life, life is not a joke, and I go back and forth. And,
one day 99 labda unaweza weka hata nini, we are not seeing you, tunaona tu dark screen.
So nasema hata nimalize na kizungu hapa niongelesha watu nasikia kila mtu dunia hii dunia ni kubwa sana. Okay, usinitupia labda, acha niongea. Okay, let me go back to my own statements. Yeah? Okay, so I woke up this morning, okay, and I was looking at the whole world, and the whole world was so confused. The whole world confused. I look at the world and I say, let me talk to my brothers and my sisters. Let me address my brothers and my sisters. Because I have to say, this situation, life is a mystery. And if life is a mystery, let me address these people as my brothers and my sisters. Let me have to be very sure, and I have to be very careful what I say to my brothers and my sisters. And I say, to me, life is a game. Life is a game. Let's address it carefully. I love this, my brothers. I was here. I came here to see my brother Benson. I came here to see goodness, and I came here to see what's going on in this foundation of life. So life goes on. Let's love each other. Let's never give up. Never give up. Respect yourself. A man is a man. A woman is a man. So let's respect each other. Let's look at this like we are one family. Everybody's Kenyan. We are Kenyans, and let's address each other as a people. So we are addressing this life as a situation. It's a situation we're going along, and we're gonna move along as a people. No one is perfect than each other, and we are the same people. So let's address each other, and let's address each other. I love you, you love me. Let's keep moving. And I'm saying here, when I come here from Brother Benson. I come here from good. I come here from Gypsy Corner, big up Gypsy Corner. I come here for the people, for this life. This life is not a game. Life is a life. You pass and life goes on. So respect to you, each and everyone, and I love you guys, and I don't worry about this situation. And I'm gonna sing you one song. I'll sing you one song here.
Hello.
This song is called
What problem with my can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear. Who is it?
I'm having a problem with my network, my internet here. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to proceed. It has just frozen, and I've gone back to my phone.
I can hear you. So no problem. You can cut off your net. I think other people can hear.
Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know what the problem is. I don't know whether we continue tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah, tomorrow's okay. I think they can hear me. They can hear me. Gypsy. I see them. They can hear me. They can hear me. It's you.
Okay. Okay, allow me to just finish because I am unable. I don't know what has happened to my internet. It has just frozen. So allow me to continue this conversation tomorrow. Kindly, 199.
You don't see me live. You don't see me live. Just see me. They can see me.
Sorry?
They can see me. You don't see them. They can see me.
Yeah.